This is a common knowledge, but I just want to start with this because this is plain obvious. However, this is a really first hurdle in terms of communication. How to communicate with your partner on their side? Because we're talking about relationship, let's start with the opposite side. Let's start with the person we are communicating with. So first thing here is to really know their preferred style of communication. And this seems to so obvious, and everybody knows that somebody is visual, somebody is auditory, somebody is kinesthetic, somebody is what is called digital auditory, all different. However, how often do we pay attention to this when we talk to people? Even with our partners, whom we know obviously very well, especially if it's a long-term relationship, how do we know for sure if the person is this kinesthetic, auditory, or whatever it is? And this is the first thing, how do we know? And second thing here is how do actually we use it? The very same thing goes for any relationship between, for example, if you're a therapist or a coach. This is something that quite possibly you know, but how often do you actually use it? If somebody is very visual, you need to show them something. They react to visual things. They not necessarily will listen to you. If they are not auditory, for example, if they're high on visual but low on auditory, you can talk to them. You can read to them. They will absorb something, but not a lot. If somebody is digital auditory, this is more of an earth element archetype. This is somebody who operates in concepts, in abstract concepts. So give them a big mark, give them a big vision. Talk to them in using the word I think, I contemplate. They will understand you. Talk to them in a way I feel, and they will switch on. For somebody who is more kinesthetic, who is more touchy-feely type of person, do not talk to them in abstract concepts. Not necessarily they will be on the same page. They really feel that you love them, or you care about them, or you just listen to them if you're talking about family member, if you actually touch them. So touch can always be made appropriate. Obviously, in romantic relationship, it goes without saying that they just need more touch. And if they need more touch, even if, for example, we would prefer, if we are auditory, we would prefer that, they would tell us that we are loved, and we ourselves would prefer to tell them that I love you. For them, it will make very little sense until you actually touch them and hold them firmly in your hands. Give them a really, really good hug, and plenty of them. And only then they will feel your love, because think about love and talk about love and feeling love coming from the other person, those are different things. And touch, talking about relationship with different people, touch could always be made appropriate to the situation. Well, obviously, if you're a therapist, then, for example, if you're doing Colourpuncture, you do acupuncture, if they need extra touch, you can do some massage, even if you're not a masseur. In every therapy, pretty much, we are taught to do simple massage. So they need this extra touch. And maybe if person lives alone and they don't have many friends or relatives, you're the only person ever touching their body. And imagine the drama of the whole lifetime if somebody is really kinesthetic and they live alone. And if you're a therapist, you're the only person who can actually touch them with massage, with acupressure, with whatever massage you do. And it could be really, really simple. Same goes even for grown-up children, because it's not really appropriate to touch grown-up children because they are separate human beings, especially if they're opposite gender. However, again, you can just hold their hand. You can stroke their hair with little massage. You can do massage as massage. You can hug them. So there is always, if there is a need from a kinesthetic person to feel this touch, to experience this touch, give that to them, because otherwise they will just not connect. They won't. A visual person need visual stimulation. Visual is probably the easiest because this is what they need. They will use verbs like I see, I can show. So go by the verb. If somebody is really, really auditory, you need to tell them actually that you love them. You need to tell, if this is a family member, you need to tell that you appreciate them, that you hear them. You need to talk to them, and they will absorb the communication through talking. So basically go by the verbs. It's very easy to find. I will probably make a little sort of summary of this and put it in my post. So it's easier to navigate, but it's self-explanatory. But how often do we acknowledge it? And how often you even know it? If you have several children, just from the top of your head, just tell me who is auditory, who is visual, who is kinesthetic, who is digital auditory. Do we know? Unless you have the specific knowledge, normally we don't. So this is a very first step, and this is a really first barrier, which can really make a difference between communication or communication. Because if we are different, if you are visual and they're kinesthetic, it's like you're talking French and they're talking Chinese. And how much communication is there? Not a lot.